0 meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We shall lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We shall lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We shall lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
super dull. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And then anybody who's running short is going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man. It's fine. It's just a 5-starter.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, excited.
Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, good. Control you, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, is there? Excellent.
So, jetzt gleich hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on empty barrels. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin. Woo! Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite ziehen, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, a Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out.
Check yourselves. Make sure you've got, UAV cool shot.
Here they come. They're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go.
Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then. Get in their face.
They got a highlighter, they just pushed up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta.
Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this.
Full pressure, guys, full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him. Go, P3, go.
Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow.
God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.
Meters altitude. Telemetry indicates a good eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counted down to lift. salvage operation. This is forward one. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gas as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Stroll. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates a good eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep off you.
This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the next dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gas as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Stroll. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates a good eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep off you.
This is a query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the next dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gas as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board.
And we're live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another MRBC cast. I will be one of your hosts tonight, Daidachi. I'm joined with Den Airwalker, team captain for Russian Jade Falcon. So tonight we'll be screening 2 Division B matches, as we've mentioned in Twitch chat. 31HR versus for Sentinels, and Dudes Club versus 5th Falcon Dragoons. After those matches are finished, we'll have a bit of discussion about them, and after that we'll be moving into Phoenix Legion versus EON Synergy. If you've got any questions, please feel free to say something in Twitch chat. There will also be 3 giveaways done tonight.
Also, we're going to do some giveaways, 1 Mac Pack, 1 day of premium time, and at the end 1000 MC code.
So, Den, do you want to talk us through the first match we're going to watch? And just a bit of background around these teams.
Okay, just a second. Cat suddenly popped out into my room. Okay, so yes, I'm switching to replace, and let's get this started. So the first game we're going to take a look on is 31 Ashar versus the Sentinels. We're just going to like briefly go through every game, and suddenly it switched into freaking dudes versus faculty. Just a second.
So 31HR are a long-standing team who've been around in the rugby league for quite a long time. We started off with Div A in EU Division D, placing 3rd. Season 6 they were in Division E, placed 2nd. Season 7 they were in Division D and placed 4th. They came 1st in Division D in Season 8 and 5th in Division C last season.
Okay, I'm just...
So, long-term team.
Okay, so right now I'm taking a look at the first drop. Well, to be honest, I don't really know much stuff to talk about first and second drops, because it's just usually decided by focus fire, and that's pretty much it. So, despite the fact that 31 Ashar, which is blue team, managed to take the first kill, they just wasn't able to put as good focus fire as later on was done by the other team.
I would actually go so far as to say, even if you look at the initial setup at the 12-minute 27 mark on the video, if you look at the positions they had, 31HR had set themselves up to receive a push, which meant that they were firing uphill. That meant that 12DG Sentinels could actually push over and break their lines, and their focus fire broke down at that point.
Yep, pretty much. So I'm just going to stream a bit through it, just let you enjoy the mech-on-mech action, which is always happening in the first drop. Also, there wasn't really much flamers, but everybody was bringing some MG lights, and of course, one interesting fact that one team brought Urban Mech as the force light, and the other team brought Panther, which is quite unusual because it's not really a great mech, but they made it work in actually one fight. So again, blue team in each drop will be 31 Ashar, and the Sentinels will be the red team. So yeah, as I said at the beginning, despite the fact that 31 Ashar was able to drop the Huntsman very fast, they just wasn't able to get such good focus on enemies as... Man, I'm always forgetting the team because I can't see the names. The Sentinels were able to.
12DG Sentinels.
Yes.
You could just call them 12DG.
12DG. So I'm just... Right now I'm at stats. As you can see, no, not really much outstanding damages for anybody. So we're just going to move on to the next round. Okay, so if first match is always just straight up brawl with like MGs, flamers and stuff like that, the second drop you can play it a little bit differently. You can try to set up some sort of fire line using like bushwhackers on like tents, night jeers, dragons, stuff like that that has good damage, that are tanky, that have range. But as we can see, both teams still went full brawl, so you can see like linebackers, Orions, dual LBX-20 Warhammers, assassins and stuff like that.
I would also say that you're seeing the impact of the new tech being experimented with a bit more by teams, by the presence of a trebuchet.
Yeah, actually to the first game, actually not even to the first, both games, the 31 Ashar was bringing trebuchets, and as far as I remember they both were on MRMs. But it didn't work out really well. It usually just died like normal, it doesn't give you really much advantages. However, on second drop, since lock-on weapons are allowed, you can try to take even streaks, but there is like only 2 lights, so there is no much real reason to bring streaks into this one. So right now I have just like again general fight, which is really hard to cast, especially as a beginner. Everybody's just dropping down here and there, and since it's replay and we're desynchronized on this one, we can't just even discuss it properly unfortunately, but I hope you still win. Okay, so I'm close to the end, again, despite the fact that 31 Ashar again just focused on the first target really well, but then they just like lose a little bit of their concentration, and Sentinels dropping them much faster.
And I think that's the difference between teams that are playing at that top level, who consistently practice and consistently focus on their focus fire without the need for a target being called. Just that half second of being able to look at a target and assess its threat and work out whether that's the target that should be focused or not.
So again, no outstanding damages, everybody did like more or less on the roll, just from like 100 to 300, almost everybody dealt these numbers. Okay, moving on to the drop 3. Here's an interesting setup from 31 HR because they took 2 ATM-48 Nigers. Thing is, the Sentinels gonna make a mistake, so they don't really have to push in these Nigers. As you can see, they right now have 2 caps on Theta and Sigma, and they could just try to gain map control, get caps, and win by them, but they will decide eventually to push, which is going to fail, unfortunately. So this drop is definitely way more interesting because it's not like World Championship, it's not like a full brawl on the first or second drop, and it's actually one of my favorites on this season because you have to bring 100 honor, which is not a Kodiak, not an Atlas, not an Annihilator, and you literally just have to decide from these 3 like underperforming 100 toners. And funniest thing that each of these underperforming 100 toners has their own usage. So Atlas is for pushing, Direwolf is like Pepper Thin but it deals more damage than King Crab, and King Crab is tanky but has a lot of potential damage. So the push comes off from Sentinels. As we can see, the focus was on Linebacker, but then it got instantly switched on Atlas and it just melts under those ATMs. After that, they're gonna put a heavy pressure on the RN2CA, which is also going to be dropped very fast on this one. So Sentinels literally lost 175 tons from the start of the game, but they also managed to kill 1 RN, so it's not lost yet. But here's the thing, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, assassins are just flaming Niger, but at this range it doesn't do anything. They shouldn't be focusing on him and switch to more like dangerous target like King Crab, but they're still trying to kill that Niger, which is useless right now. And it's again just like one of those things that you can just like make like mistake that like it, because as you can see they're already just losing a little bit in trades, and now they focus on King Crab when it's like the tankiest mech available, and which is on the 100% hit almost, so it can't do much damage right now. And it's so tanky that it's going to survive this cargo despite like 3 mechs getting focused on it. And
even coming down to individual mechs, if you look at the difference between, like, we've seen a few teams so far take the Atlas D but not take the Atlas K despite running basically a push deck, and that's, like, they both have comparable armor quirks but better weapon offensive quirks in the case of the K versus the D now. Like, the introduction of heavy Gauss rifles has really changed that up.
Here's the thing, I don't really think that heavy Gauss is a good weapon for competitive, to be honest, because if you want to go push anyway, you just put LBX lines, because it's also almost hit efficient. It has better DPS at close range, which you need to get. And here's the thing, the King Crab did 700 damage and Atlas did under 100 because it just ran into those ATMs. You can't just run into ATMs on Atlas. So yeah, as I said, in situation like this, don't just like blindly charge. You can always go and try to get map control. Okay, switching to map number 4. I'm going to pause here because I'm gonna explain a little bit what happened. So Sentinels set up a little bit of some sort of fire line because they put up a 4-ear large laser hunchback on top of the mountain on the Tourmaline Desert. They had ERPPC Sumner, and most of their other mechs are heavy DACA. And they right now they managed to took out one light which was trying to go for flank cap. And straight after that light died, 31 HR decided to go for heavy push on the north side of the map. and just in case I'm on 840. So as you can see right now, WK1 is just pushing into the open, and Nova is 77%, Orion2C is almost dead, probably lost one of its side horses already. And here's the thing, which was the major problem. As you can see, 31 Share have like 2 annihilators, and other mechs are way faster than those annihilators, and right now they're just running without any sort of annihilator support.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I'm looking at that line of advancement, and it's really just a long, meandering line that's really easy to pick apart.
Yep, and as you can see, Sentinels are just like falling back a bit, letting those fast mechs to get into the trap, pick them off one by one, like they're doing with like Instincts, Assassin, and right now 31 Share are just going to be left with 2 annihilators and stripped Orion. And like and Sentinels have still 2 machine gun lights. How does this could end? Only by both annihilators dead without doing any sort of job. So
well, really, if you're going for that right side push, alpha to alpha, you really have to commit to it, and you have to build your deck accordingly. That you've actually got some speed to go with it.
Yeah, funniest thing, we tried to do this on screen with EON. We also did like Annihilator, Medcat on ballistics, stuff like that, and we just wasn't able to get to the cover. It just was like completely destroyed by even ER large shaders. So if you want to do push like that, you should really take faster mechs, especially on your assaults. Okay, looking at damages, as we can see, Sentinels did quite a lot of damage, and their missiles managed to get 5 kills. While, yeah, as for 31 Share, you clearly can see that mechs who were running in close range just were focused one by one very easily. And that is the problem, you can't just like split your team during the push like that.
Yeah, agree. I mean, you look at Cameron, for example, in that Orion2C, he made a very bad choice where he tried to swing wide around the Stargate
like
instead of going left alongside the wall, and as a result he got absolutely pounded down about, I think, 23% before he managed to get out of shots.
Okay, and I'm moving to the drop 5 right now. I'm at 11:30. I'm paused. So here's the thing, it's like one of those things you have to know to get better. So it's drop 5, you have 4 assaults, 2 heavies, 2 lights. And right now 31 Share is just going to give Sentinels 4 cap advantage in a very, very slow and very, very heavy drop. So as you can see right now, Sentinels are getting 4 caps, and 31 Share lights just run away and not contesting any of those points. But they could, because it's Arctic Cheetah and Mislings against Osiris and Wolfhound. 2 on 2, they should be able to win this fight, to be honest. But instead, what they're doing, they're pulling their lights towards the push on the right side, which is going to kick off right now. Also, look at those strikes on that Warhammer, it just got completely almost dead only due to strikes. Both side horses are very orange, it has gausses, so if it picks, it's going to get exploded. But I was surprised that it's going to stay up for quite a long during the push that is coming right now from the upper city side by 31 Share. So on drop 5, usually it's hard to focus on which mechs have what sort of damage, because they're so tanky, especially when you have 4 annihilators on the map, and they can just like sink up like absolute tons of damage. And here's the thing, Sentinels left the annihilator in the upper city, and it just got stared by machine gun lights right now. They don't even have to kill it, they just have to crit out his yachts, and that's what they're going to do. Meanwhile, enemy sentinel lights are getting work on King Crab and on Orion 2C. So both teams just kinda got exposed to enemy lights without trying to protect from them. And fighting just goes on all sides right now. But as I pointed out, the whole time Sentinels were having 4-cap advantage over 31 share. So what's going to happen right now is going to be very funny. I have never seen this personally before. So in the upper city, as you can see, one Annihilator is stripped. Another Annihilator has like 1 or 2 guns left. On the left corner, this Gargoyle and that Mad Cat are stripped. I'm going to just show it. So the only few mechs which have weapons right now are Mislings, Sumner, Niger, and Osiris. So as you can see,
that's an amazing end to a match. Looking at how many mechs were just crippled but unable to be taken down.
Yeah, as I said, I have never seen before that like 4 souls on 5th drop should be just like without weapons. So yeah, Gargoyle, Mad Cat without weapons, that Mislings and Sumner fighting off on the right side, and Niger and Osiris are fighting here on the right side. And as you can see, just I'm going to pass here. What happened with these 2 Annihilators in the corner? The red Sentinel's Annihilator still is stripped, but the blue Annihilator has some weapons, but it's blocked in such a way that it can't shoot anyone right now. I probably wouldn't even notice it if I haven't watched the replay a few times. And here's the 5th mech that it's going to get stripped, it's that Summoner. So basically, 31 Ashar won the fight. They still have Mislings, they still have Niger, which is going to take care of that Osiris in the upper city, because it is lagged. But they lost by far by letting enemy lights to get those caps at the early stage of the game, and they haven't been pointing attention to them the whole time they were fighting.
Well, like, as we've said, as people have said countless times in comp, you can win a fight, but if you don't pay attention to map control early, you will lose out ultimately. And you can't just think about where your team is going to set up, you have to think about where the enemy team is going to set up and how to counter their setup.
So yeah, that Summoner just went to another cup, and that was a great fight, and teams like really almost killed each other, but one team had 4 caps while the whole fight was going on for like 6 or 7 minutes. The other team had only 1 cap. So looking at damages, we can see that Sentinels and Annihilators got picked off by lights of 31 Ashar, but some of 31 Ashar mechs were able to deal their damage like in really large amounts. Also, I want to point out,
I mean, let's look at that net eye, 942 damage to the Mislings.
So Mislings are really great at taking out those side torsos on assault, especially if you're able to get from behind. So that's it for this match. Now we're switching to Dudes versus 5th Falcon what?
Dragoons.
Sorry. Just a second, need to check if it's working. Yes, it's working.
So, I mean, the thing that stands out to me straight away is that 5th Falcon Dragoons set themselves up really well with, having the high ground, being able to shoot down. But it's almost like they pulled back from that rather than pushing down and forcefully forcing Dudes Club to stay in that low valley. They allowed Dudes Club to actually execute a breakout.
I mean, when you're going to brawl anyway, like high ground almost doesn't matter. Thing is that you can try to position your mediums on that high ground so that they can shoot without being like teared apart by focus fire, which is usually happens during the first drop. So again, as you can see, Elecon Bushwalker is just going to get obliterated by all that machine gun fire coming his way. But again,
I actually look at that and go that Ilak was almost used as bait because he was over there in such a tempting target that the 5th Falcon Dragoons
yes, like
went away from their previous position and went over to him and allowed the whole of Dude's Club to just rotate round into their back.
yes, and bushwhackers are almost always getting focused first and on these drops, so it's painful to pilot them. But again, despite Islet being dropped down first, as you can see, just I'm going to pass here, look at the percents, like 70, 80, 70, 80, 70, 70, 80, 80. Again, the few Falcon Dragoons, just like 31 share, are having troubles with focusing targets up to the first target is down. And it's like the first thing you have to practice during this drop, when you're like training on it. They're getting focused now on
But yeah, like once you see the second mech go down, then you start seeing the percentages really start rolling as the machine guns start eating through armor.
Also again, we don't see much flamers because of all of those machine gun lights are available to use. It makes almost no sense to bring like flamers right now due to the amount of machine guns enemies usually bring on the list. And enemy mediums which have like hit dependent weapons are just gonna get focused first anyway, so they won't be usually able to use their hit fully. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, looking through the damage numbers, you know, it's exactly what you expect. Yeah, it's a pretty even spread. There's 2 pilots who did less than 200 damage, and I think they served their role well. Like Alec, I'm not going to put any shade on him for 28 damage because he was bait, and
yeah, as I said,
the other fell for it.
It doesn't matter if you drop first target very fast and then you focus is not on targets, you're gonna lose anyway. So again, starting off on the second drop, as we can see, both teams are again bringing heavy broad. And as we can see, Ilak on Bushwalker again just charging in and gonna picked off by the whole fire line just ready for him to receive. I wanted to actually pause on like 3 minutes. I want to point out that if you look at the map, you can see for 5th Falcon Dragoon they have 1 light moving from Gamma to their team, and from Dude's Club, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like 5th Falcon Dragoons have 1 mech that's right off in that bottom corner. Dude's Club have 1 mech that's only just gone over from that other cap point, so he's much more easily able to reinforce.
So the thing is that right now 5th Falcon Dragoons have 2 mech advantage on this side of the map, and they decided to hold. After killing almost like for nothing one of the Dude's mechs. Now they're gonna receive like 1 strike, then, and now they're just like waiting for the light, but they could have pushed right now already because they have an advantage, and they like right now they're missing only the light, but they have enemy medium there, so they really should have pushed right now. But of course they didn't know that 2 of Dude's mechs were in the back, and now the fighting again just gonna kick off as soon as both teams have their reinforcements.
I mean, the other one I'd point out would be South Malthus in that Nova. If you look at the ranges he was firing those ER smalls at, the heat trade-off to damage was not a good trade for him. Because he was right off in that back corner, away from the main clump of 5FD, almost being used as a scout.
Yeah, that's why we usually right now using medium pulse machine gun Nova S, because it has some quirks, it has better range than small lasers, and after small laser nerf they're just like very bad weapons. And again, we can see despite 5th Falcon Dragoon taking out the like freaking bushwhackers almost for nothing, they again losing in focus fire to Dudes. Just a little bit, but they're losing.
Well, as we've seen every single comp drop ever known, like incremental gains are a gain.
Oh, never mind, everything's fine. So yeah, as you can see that it was like 4-4, now it's 4-3, now it's going to back to 4-2, and eventually 5th Dragon again going to lose unfortunately due to a little bit worse focus fire than their enemies. thing is about the drop that I like that you can expect enemies to push, you can expect enemies to set up some sort of fire length, so you always have to think about this drop, whether you want to bring more long range mechs or you want to bring like more medium or brawl mechs, especially at higher divisions. And again, we can see like almost one outstanding damage, which is Vindicator, which is very surprising for me.
I think we'll see the Vindicator used a bit more in these lower div drops as people start using MRMs more and more, at least to sandpaper
Most likely.
damage on enemy mechs and hopefully open them up.
Okay, I'm already on the third drop, and I think I wanted to point out here that both teams are bringing like Assassin's 21. Guys, go check out Assassin 23. It has armor quiz and it has even higher alpha than the 21s.
And the thing is, with a 23, you can pack all three SRMs into one side torso, so you can literally just shield using the other side.
And again, we see like one team bringing Atlas, another team bringing Direwolf, and again, third drop. Given it's like lower tier division, it's still most likely to going to be a brawl on this one because it's like kind of close range map. So everybody is just going to be fighting at like 300 meters anyway, not trying to gain some sort of range on enemies. So as we can see, dudes just like rotating through the middle with all the brawl force. Actually, it seems like the dudes on this drop had like more brawl than Fifth Falcon, because Fifth Falcon had like medium pulses, MRMs on that trebuchet again, Direwolf, and you can just like try to gain map control if you're having more range than your enemies. You can just like try to send one mech.
Well, I think the other thing for Dudes Club was because they brought along a night gear and they had the Atlas, they didn't want to just go chasing and overextending themselves. They needed to bear in mind the speed of their team, which they did.
Okay, so right now fighting kicks off because some of his Falcon Dragon mechs got too close to dudes and now they're just like pushing out into them. Despite good focus fire on that Orion to see, it managed to got a little bit to the back and it survived. And now even at 40% it's going to go and do some damage. And as you can see, dudes were just able to get close almost without any sort of punishment from Fierce Falcon Dragons. Also notice how this Direwolf and Niger are at more than 90%. Dudes are just like taking more lighter mechs faster than they would took these heavier targets, and after every like medium and light is dead, they're getting their focus on those Nigers and on the Direwolf. And these are not the mechs that can survive at like fighting such a fast mechs that dudes have. This one was more even, but as you can see, like one Niger dropped by Assassin, another one is getting dropped by Assassin and Arctic Wolf, and of course Direwolf, despite being like at 90% health, wouldn't be able to do anything because it's like Direwolf.
Yeah, so I'm bringing a pain now, 765 damage, 2 kills, 5 assists.
I'm a little bit away from him. And here goes Direwolf. And as you can see, dudes again just like winning by a little bit of focus fire on this one, because actually if you're not sure that you can like out focus fire enemy, if you know that your team a little bit not really that good at like focus firing at this like when fight kicks off, you can just like go try practicing some sort of medium range or long range and map controlling more, because you don't really have to try always go brawl into your enemies on, especially against high skilled teams, because they will be able to just like bait you into some sort of positions where you will be at very disadvantages if you bring all brawl. Yeah, as for damages, we can see like four mechs breaking 600 damage. It's that Niger, it's that Direwolf, but like the damage they dealt wasn't enough to kill like the Linebreaker, Orion, Summoner, Atlas, Assassins, Arctic Wolf, and one of the Assassins, which was like which survived to like late game engagement with this Nigerian Sandarwu, was able to deal almost 800 damage, and that linebacker that also survived was able to do almost 700 damage. So when like Brawl Max surviving to the last, they're going to bring pain. Okay, so last two games were very entertaining, to be honest, because we're not going to see a full-on brawl from both teams this time. On this drop, actually, we're going to see a full close-range deck from Fierce Falcon Dragoons. Dai, what do you think about Medcat Mark II on this map? Mark II, should I say?
Just a straight Mark II too?
Yes, because Fierce Falcon Dragoons brought two Mark IIs on this one.
Wouldn't be my normal choice, to be honest, because I'd probably, if I were using, if the aim was for clan tech, I'd probably go for something like the Mark II 4 and run ATMs, or the Mark II B and run UX.
Okay, so thing is, even while I was clipping, I'd had to like speed up this thing. So as we can see, Fierce Falcon Dragoon is just like moving in a blob around the map, trying to find engagement find a position where they could possibly push on dudes, but dudes are just using their Battle Masters, Airlash Laser Roughnecks, and other fast long range mechs to just like stay on the position between Theta and Epsilon and just getting those 3 caps. So right now, as you can see, like despite mechs running around, not really that much is happening. Dudes again just switching to the death volley, getting shot here and there by like summoner mislings. That summoner got like caught up out of position a little bit, so it's going to die right now. But that's, oh shit, I again misclicked. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, here's that moment. Oh no. Again failed, sorry.
Look, I would say one of the key things to look at is if you look at where Gensman and Fitz set themselves up on the far side of the map, right at the back. They had basically sight lines all the way across to the Stargate, all the way across to the left hand side if 5FD tried making a play for Epsilon.
Okay, and back to the moment I was talking about, so I'm just looking at how Summoner gets picked off, but it really doesn't matter already, because, as I said, right now, dude's going to just like invest their, not invest, how you call it in English, I don't know, sorry, just like turn their map control advantage into cap advantage right now. So right now they're leading on caps, but they have 2 caps to 3 caps, so they're just going to rotate lights to Sigma and Gamma, and dudes are just like doing really what you should do when you're bringing more range deck than your enemies. So as you can see,
well, it's basically the death of 1,000 paper cuts.
Yes.
Looking at how those percentages gradually went down. Like there was no sudden turning point. They just whittled them down a bit at a time until they had the cap advantage, they had the map advantage. They lost their mediums, fairly early on in the scheme of things by getting caught out. But the rest of the time, their assaults, their heavies just kept rotating and kept that distance between them. So the only heavy they'd lost was that one summoner who still did 387 damage.
And actually, just like imagine if you had, instead of those useless brawl medcats, dark medcats, they just like get a little bit close and just tear those battle masters apart. But those
well, like you've covered enough distance on those UX to be able to just pound a target at range, and if those battle masters lose a side torso, the DPS output on them goes dramatically down, and the heat generation goes up.
So right now I have a fighting kicking off over Sigma, but it doesn't matter. Right now, dudes are leading in caps a little bit. They have 3 caps because one of their lights rotated to Gamma and got it. And like, if you're taking brawl, you either brawl or you lose 2 caps. You can't just like sit in the corner for the whole game and wait for a miracle to happen. And as you said, dudes were just like rotating around the this Falcon and just doing little bits of damages here and there. So as you can see on percent, it's like 30, 40, 51, 50, 72. Not much damage, but the cup game is lost due to useless assaults that these Falcon Dragons had on their side. I haven't like looked tightly in damages, but I really now wonder how much those medkits dealt in this game.
51 and 35 damage respectively.
Yeah, there you go. That's your like 90 turners. You can't have mechs that doing this bad. And Tourmaline Desert is
like generally like I think half the problem is you can come up with a strat like that and it works great in the public queue, but if you're playing a strat like that on a map where there is a chance the enemy is going to take a long range deck against you, you have to think, well, how are we going to get our mechs into position to deliver that damage? Because otherwise it's 180 tons, it's literally not doing a whole lot on the map, frankly.
So I passed at the damages right now, and as you can see for Fierce Falcon Dragoons, only Arctic Cheetah did something. Everybody else was just like, okay, investigating.
Chasing, perpetually chasing.
Not even chasing, just like rotating around the map doing nothing for the whole game. Okay, moving up to the game number 5. So let me shortly explain what happened in the game. As you can see, these Falcon Dragoons again brought 2 Brawl Medcats and Atlas. They rotated through the like southern part of the map around the citadel, but then they've seen dudes crossing the bridge from the top right corner, and now they're just rotating back to it. As you can see on caps, dudes had like 4 caps for a while. Now they're having 3 caps, but soon they're going to have only Epsilon at their position. So they have like only one option. If they want to win it, they will have to go at enemies. And think about this heavy drop. Like, why would you ever bring Brawl to it, to be honest? Like, you have 4 assaults, you have 2 heavies. These mechs can bring such a heavy duck right now that you don't even have to get into the range to deal damage. You can sit at 500 meters and just like go with those like 60-80 damage double taps on enemies. And as you can see, just like that, Orion got into focus for like a few seconds and it's already 55%. And if you can remember the...
Like, if the end of the day math on brawling in something of that way, in a drop like this, is that you have to rely on being as undamaged as possible until you get into that fight. When you're in a drop where there's so many assault mechs, you have to expect you will take a punishing amount of damage before you get into the fight, so your effectiveness is going to be decreased straight away.
Yes, because everybody's bringing like 2 Annihilators or 2 Ballistic Medcats on this one, so there is no way you'll be able to get into close range on brawling mechs undamaged. You're gonna lose like 2 or 3 assaults while you're trying to do it. And here we can see the Medcat just like again dying without doing anything, to be honest. That's like the only explanation I could find. The Falcon Dragoons just didn't have like those Dakar medkits or Annihilators on their side, but still it's very poor judgment. And here's an interesting thing. As you can see right now, the fighting goes on. Dudes again winning because they have more appropriate loadout for this drop, because as we were talking about, you don't want to take brawl assaults on this one. As you can see, Fist Falcon Dragoons having 4 caps almost that whole time, but dudes know that they need to just go and kill enemies while enemy lights are busy capping. And as you can see right now, in a few seconds they're going to have a full 8 men alive and only 2 enemy lights alive. So it doesn't matter how much caps you get, because you can't outcap 8 enemy mechs on 2 lights. Like, look, Mistlings is 100%, Arctic Cheetah is 99%. Yes, they tried to go for cap game, but even if you get such a high advantage, so it's like literally 200 points away, and you still have 4 caps, but if enemy won the fight like without almost any sort of resistance from your side, you're going to just get outcapped anyway. So as you can see, dudes are just spreading all around the map, flipping those caps into their favor. And it was like 500 points at 4 caps, and now it's just like 600 points at almost just 1 cap. So problem with Falcon strat here that if they had like proper Dakam assaults, they would be able to steal this for long enough for this cap strat to work. But unfortunately, they just wasn't able to hold long enough to get those ticks on the caps they lights get for them.
One thing I do want to point out here, in contrast to previous drops, Alec lived.
Oh, yeah. Like, you usually have that one guy in your team which you always just like go full YOLO into enemies and dies first. But he's usually always a nice guy. So as we can see...
Well, let's be frank here, he has to be to accept that role.
So problem here is I'm using like side button on my mouse, and when I click it somewhere but very narrow point of my screen, it just goes and switches to another video I have. So
on the plus side, we're finishing off the last
I really
memory
like
plays.
that 5th Falcon Dragoons tried that cap strat this time instead of just like trying to go for full into enemies. But it just doesn't work if you die too fast, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's not just a matter of trying a new strategy. When you adopt a new strategy, you've got to be willing to adapt your deck to suit the strategy as well. And look at it and go, alright, what does my deck deliver? Like, on a map like River City, can we control the upper city, if we're on that side, and keep the enemy from pressing it? Can we press across the garden?
Yeah, speaking of adapting strategies, PHL is one of teams which is known to like play those cap strats even in higher divisions, so we might see some from them today. I'm very curious, because for upcoming match I have played into scrims with both EON and both PHL, and I'm really wonder what these guys are going to bring up today. So yeah, as we can see, Annihilator 775 damage, Annihilator 632 damage, Kodiak 600 damage, another Madcat 450 damage, Mystics and Archcheetah and Linebacker over 400 damage. Of course, if your assaults can't do that damage because they don't have range on enemies, you can't win this drop anyway. And that was pretty much everything what we wanted to cover right now. And now we're going to go for a giveaway on 1 McVeigh.
So, just bear in mind, guys, you need to be active in chat to take part.
But it's going to be like 5 minutes delay, so we should give away like only a little bit later on to anybody of you. So I'm just like going for all. He's going to tear people ears. Silver Moonlight, 1 Amic Bay. Just a second, roll is going. Silver Moonlight, 1 Amic Bay. And yes, I will turn it down a little bit, sorry guys for that. As I said, first stream, going to have some fuck ups. And sorry for your ear problems if you're going to have it. Okay, so right now we're going to go take a like 15 minutes break, get EON and PHL set up, and yeah, we're going to stream them. Do you have anything else to say before we go on a break?
I would say that both matches we've seen today, so far, all four teams have things that they will no doubt look at from a spectator's point of view and go, okay, so these are things that we need to work on. And any feedback you may hear from myself or Dan or people in chat always comes from the point of view that people want to see people do better. We want to see exciting matches. We want to see quality. We want to see people grow. So take the feedback for what it is. People want to see you do better. People want to see you shake things up a bit.
So actually I was recording 31 a share match versus the Sentinels, and I just went and gave them both to their captains. I gave to both of them some sort of my feedback on the drops shortly. And as for the second match, I would like to say to Phil.
Proton was recording that for us, and we'd like to thank him very much.
Yes, that too.
I'd also like to point out we've got 91 viewers at the moment, Dan.
Yeah, that's very nice. Sorry for the fuck ups I had right now. I'm just like first stream, so setting everything up, looking how it works. And I think I wanted to say to teams at like getting into higher divisions, guys, stop trying to take Brawl into every single drop. It just don't work, especially when you have 4 assaults. Maybe if we had like this new city map, maybe it would work, but not on like Tourmaline Desert, not on River City, because you have too much spaces on these maps to go and shoot enemies while they're moving. Okay, then, so that should be all for now. Moonlight, please contact Daidachi in PM. He should like write about it right now in chat. And see you in like 15 or 20 minutes when we're going to set up for EON versus PHL match. See you guys.
Meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Target gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift.
At 220 meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is McQuarrie. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control, 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantry as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left, we're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're ready to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
Pay attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, is going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4. It's fine, chill the out, man. It's fine, it's just a fire starter. Don't Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die. 15 seconds, don't die.
Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, good. Charlie, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, there's a... Acceleration.
So, jetzt gleich hinter die Indie-Pocken,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrels. Wire are strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over. Overheating is bad. Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin. Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from a right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie and Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out.
Check yourselves. Make sure you've got UAV cool shot.
Here they come. They're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go. Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then. Get in their face.
They got a highlighter, they just pushed up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta.
Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this.
Full pressure, guys, full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the fucking arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Cough. I got him.
Okay, go, B3, go. Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow.
God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.
Meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're ready for lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're ready for lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. Now tracking multiple targets inbound.
Got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is the query. We're on him.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Roger, Control, 3 hours. Starting salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible.
And we're live again.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for being patient with us. Good to see we've still got 93 viewers. So we're going to be doing a re-roll on that giveaway because the person who won the roll never contacted anyone.
And just a second, I need to turn this thing down a bit. Okay, hope now it's in proper sound. Just a second, it's rolling. CPT says TJB is the winner of Mehbay. Okay, let me check if he's in chat. No, he's not in chat also, so doing another roll. Okay, let me update the list. And we're logging in. The Gno 2 is winner of the Magway. Okay, I hope at least he is in chat. No.
Okay, so that's okay. Let's push that one to the end of it.
Yep. Okay.
We've got one pilot from PHL that needs to reconnect. It looks like.
Yep. I'm going to kick it really fast. Okay. So here's the thing. I have been training with both of these teams during these like preparation weeks before MRBC, and I'm really interested on see, especially first drop, on which these teams are bringing. Like, not that I'm not interested in later drops, but I'm particularly interested in this one, and I'll tell you about it a little bit later when we're getting into the match.
So, for those who are unfamiliar with the format of MRBC, there are 5 drops in total, with differing mech requirements for each drop and differing win conditions. So, drop 1 is domination game mode. It's 4 lights, 4 mediums, no lock-on weapons, strikes, and arts of all kinds are permitted. You can take a maximum of 1 duplicate of a chassis, so if you run 1 Jenner, you can take a second Jenner, but you can't take any other duplicates of any other mech. Drop 2 is Conquest, with 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies. Again, strikes are allowed. Drop 3 differs by being a commander assassination mode. It's Conquest game mode. 1 100-ton mech, which must be an Atlas, a King Crab, or Direwolf. If your commander mech lives and the enemy is destroyed, you achieve a win condition and get the bonus reputation points. 3 mediums and 4 heavies. Strikes allowed again. Drop 4 is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults. And drop 5 is 2 lights, 2 heavies, and 4 assaults. All games are 8 pilots in each team. Okay,
do you want to give some sort of feedback on both teams? Well, we can.
So 2017 most recently. I believe both teams also took part in Battle for Midway. Phoenix Legion, mainly Spanish-speaking unit, I believe. No, actually German. My mistake. Most recently in MLBC, they ranked second in Division 9, or in Season 9 in Division B. In Season 8, they also ranked second. In Season 7 in Division D, they were first place, and in Season 6, they were third place in Division D. So they've obviously continued to grow and improve as the seasons have gone on. EON Synergy set out to be the best, and they're to date one of the only teams that's taken any series of drops away from Imperial, placing second at the World Championships. Marathon effort by them playing every single match that day. They've come first in Seasons 7, 8 and 9 for EU.
So yeah, as you might think, there should be some sort of advantage for EON in terms of skill, but I can say that they have like one thing we noticed while like playing with them a lot. If something goes not according to their plan, they tend to panic a little bit, and that can sometimes turn their tides against them. As for PHL, they are known usually for bringing occasional cap strats, which is pretty much what I said, thing that can disrupt your plans. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for this match. So right now PHL is locked, waiting on for EON, and we're good to go. So first drop is going to be Rubilid Oasis Domination. It's going to be like Hell on Earth unleashing on the middle of that map as soon as these teams will get to each other.
Okay, so PHL said they're locked. Okay, EON have asked for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, so do you have something else to talk about right now?
We've seen a bit of a downturn in player numbers for MLBC, and I think that's only natural when you consider that there's been a bit of a drop off in interest in the game. We've seen a few teams that just haven't come back. If you're new and considering signing up for competitive, don't be intimidated by it. There are always teams on the lookout for additional pilots. You don't have to go straight into Division A like these guys. This is the sort of standard you should be aiming for. If you're actually ready, or if you actually just want to get a taste of it, hit up one of the lower division teams. Ask them if they've got space for an additional pilot on their roster. The MLBC Discord has an entire section that's for pilots who are looking for teams to post in.
Okay, so both teams are ready. Yep. So we're launching.
So match 1 is on Ribla Oasis. Obviously you'll have to forgive us for the graphic of the map because the tool needs to be updated a bit still.
So we just set up a domination. So like, which team you want to observe in terms of builds?
I'll go for PHL.
Okay, I'm going for him.
And then we can swap it around on successive drops. So just waiting on these dropships to load in.
It takes some time for players to load. And we can't even bring the team information while they're not spawned.
There we go. Team info is available.
Okay, so here's the thing I want to know, because EON Synergy went a lot of medium pulse lasers against us. But it seems that yeah, like 2 wolfhounds, most likely on medium pulses. Yes.
Phoenix Legion, dual mislinks, Huntsman, Nova Prime, and Arctic Cheetah, Urban Mech, Hunchback 2C, and a Bushwhacker. The P1 will be missiles.
So yeah, pretty much casual laser vomits and rockets coming from EON. Yes, Rams, Bushwhacker is 12x10 and some nose PPC, which is kind of interesting. But overall, it's like,
So no real surprise.
yeah, no real surprise. And yeah, we just got TeamSpeak death, so I'm going to... So, yeah, we're just going to continue on this drop and go to figure out... My god, it's not even our fault, it's just TeamSpeak. So as you can see, Funky Cat taking some damage from that strike, which went on, and Polycat taking down to 74% from initial trades by medium pulses, I presume. So both teams picking up their approach very cautiously, not wanting to go for full engage right now. EON moving on the top side of this platform, so they're going to have some sort of high ground, and we can see UV popped up and instantly shut down from EON. So it seems that EON should have a little bit more range over PHL, so they're going to try to get these positions and start trading against them. Also, it's interesting that EON is bringing light machine guns on their side in order to be able to do this like medium range damage into enemy mechs while they're approaching. Okay, and PHL finally decides to go for a push on this bridge onto that zone. Qbert getting focused down. Oh my god, Qbert is out of position. He's going to be took down very fast, but push from EON comes onto that Bushwhacker that got a little bit behind. One leg goes down on him, and he goes down. So 1-1 so far. I think Nova gets... No, it's actually Assassin who got legged. So fighting kicks off on the top platform. Hey, you here? Okay, yep. So far it seems like PHL won a little bit in trades against EON. They start to drop down into them. And you can see like 4max focusing that crab. Not the best target to focus when you have like mislinks, which is 57%, and it's... And actually Assassin was legged, it goes down too. So it doesn't look good for EON. They have only 4 lights left, and they're gonna start dropping down. And there's only Buri left for EON Synergy, and 6 mechs from Phoenix Legion are still up.
If you look at the way that they managed to dismantle that team, like just pulling people out of position and ruthlessly focusing on them.
I think there was a problem that Qbert on the Huntsman was too far away, and EON took just a little bit too much time to get into the tail of PHL team moving up.
Apparently I'm really quiet on stream. Is there any better guys?
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to turn down after the freaking giveaway. Should be fine now. Okay, let's look at damages. Urban Mech dealing top damage in Div A match.
414 damage with 3 kills. Like, great work by Sinjo.
And then
But
upcoming nerf
even if you look at El Rizzo as well, 375.
And it's, I presume it was dual LB20 hatchback. That one really can bring pain. Okay then. let's update a little bit. We're gonna move to drop 2. It was 8 to 2 kills, yes?
Correct.
So Phoenix Legion taking out first drop from EON. As I said, despite their previous achievements, PHL is still a team to be reckoned with.
I would say, when you consider the quality of the opposition they were up against last season in Div B, and Tyre Scorpions, who haven't entered the team this season, they won enough drops convincingly enough. They proved they deserve to be up in Div A, quite frankly.
Because even best teams are struggling against them right now. And really great job by PHL, and yes, that's pretty much it. So second drop is going to be Terra Therma Conquest. Can we just while team are setting up, try to redo the freaking giveaway?
So if we look at the map strat, do you want to bring that up for me?
Map strat.
Just let me know when it's up. So EON set themselves up around the upper city mark, hoping to be able to get shots down. Phoenix Legion, for their part, moved over into the low ground, waited until one of the EON mechs had actually set themselves up out of position, and then all leached straight onto them.
Moved in the side.
EON, for their part, rotated around around towards the Echo 6 side, but Phoenix Legion just kept on moving around, and when mechs dropped off, 3 or 4 of them would go for them, while the rest of EON's mechs were still up top and didn't have angles to get shots down.
Okay, I feel like the turning point was that Huntsman went a few seconds before Bushwalker, and then EON mechs started dropping down one by one, not in all together, so they had few mechs on top that were getting hit by whole PHL team, while 4 or 5 mechs were down, not being able to help on top. And then PHL just moved down altogether and finished off the remaining mechs of the EON. And that's why EON were able to kill only 2 mechs, because they just split them up too hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Xkiko was down in the basement trying to get sight lines anywhere, but he was so isolated that he couldn't really get shots on for at least half a match, because most of the action was happening up top. By the time Phoenix Legion all dropped down and started focusing him, the EON mechs that were left had rotated around to the other side to try and get out of shot.
Yeah, by the way, we just
fire
had
lines.
the fight going on stream. So yeah, as we can see,
Yep,
Assassin
right
Lost
now.
Leg dropped down, another mech dropping down, and now they have 2 or 3 mechs on top getting hit by a whole PHL team. Yeah, so we were correct.
That was ruthlessly executed, and it's really exciting to see, because it bodes really well for the quality of matches for the rest of the night. We've seen in Battle for Midway last season where EON dropped the first 2 drops against JGX and then came out swinging and just decimated them for the remaining ones, so I'll be very curious to see if they do the same thing tonight.
Okay, so do I want to try to roll this bloody thing again?
Let's see if we can give away this mech bay for, what, the 5th time now?
Yeah. Okay, I'm turning down the volume. And going for the roll. And Korochun won a McBay. It's guy from our unit, so he should be online definitely.
I hope so.
Okay, Krachun PM die in MRBC if you're still somewhere over there.
So Winner should PM myself, Daidachi, DAI and DACHI, and I'll PM you the code.
Okay.
So PHL are locked.
EON are locked, yeah. We should be dropping off really soon.
I'm just going to switch the map straight in advance.
And we're launching. So already what I see, PHL is 400 tons and EON is only 365. That's quite interesting because it's like 35-ton difference. I'm pretty sure, and my bet is that EON is going to bring 2 dragons and PHL is going to bring 2 Nigers on this one. Let's see if I'm correct. And we're switching to map number 2.
Alright, so I'll spectate for EON this time, and if you want to spectate for PHL at the start.
No problem.
No, you called it for EON with dual dragons.
Yeah, that was wrong on Phoenix Legion. They're going to have a brawl, it seems, with Ryan, 2 bushwalkers, and I'm pretty sure it's dual LB20 Warhammer, where it is. Come on. Yes, it is. Nova, small pulse machine guns, assassin, SRMs. RL, of course, on Brawl with flamers. Bushwalkers, Brawl, undoubtedly. And on the other side, I'm pretty sure it's just triple whack 2 dragons, Bushwalkers probably on something like they had on previous game, SRM Huntsman. And as we can see, EON just like taking their Kappa and Gamma, PHL taking the Sigma and Epsilon, and just moving straight to the middle. PHL getting up and with their light and assassin and getting away from it. So let's just wait before PHL goes for heavy push, which they will definitely do at some time.
But you look at how EON have positioned themselves, they're trying to make sure they've got multiple sight lines.
Yes, of course, so they're just setting up both dragons, this in column on the bridge, waiting for PHL to come at them. But the thing is that PHL can just wait all day long because you can't just be hidden by strikes if you try evading them correctly. EON trying to put an archer strike on that plot over here, but there's nobody there, so they're just missing. And now PHL is just going to patiently wait for EON to come closer. We have you popped up Baburia strike actually hitting that Warhammer over the corner. If that Nova is going to be sitting over here, it's going to hit, so it's backing off a little bit. And as we can see, both lights of EON are moving from this side to get some scouting probably, or to engage PHL as soon as they come closer. Probably these lights will try to go and bring some strikes, but we have Ryan and Bushwalker overwatching this position from PHL.
Well, Bushwhacker and Orion 2C are definitely turned around expecting that outflank maneuver.
And as we can see, EON indeed look like they want to push on this side of the map. They have like only Colonial near at the back, easy moving up to, so they're probably going to go for hard commit on the right side. Missing's just casually running away from all these shots. Problem is that if EON is going to go for hard push, the lights of PHL might get too far away from push, and here it comes. And interesting thing that EON is pushing only with their lights and mediums over here, so they're definitely flash, but there's a massive strike coming over PHL positions. And they are being
and here we go, they've committed.
Lights are going to get a little bit caught off by this mix, but
and first blood to PHL.
Huntsman goes down. Bushwalker is down to 54% and left. EON Max coming from behind, but they're a little bit too far from the engagement. So EON kind of got PHL surrounded, but this whole town is going down most likely. Arctic Cheetah, so just chasing him. Missing just running away. Second mech goes down for EON, but now they have at least some range and they have 3 caps advantage, but they're already down to 2 mechs. However, mechs that are left are relatively like, oh no, Funky goes into shutdown right at the front of the fire line.
And one down for EON.
Finally, one of PHL legs goes down. Sinjo is tanking hell of a lot of damage, only now he loses his sectors. And PHL just going straight into EON fire line. They have busy still attacked. Colonial only dying on the edge of the lava lake. A few more mechs of EON going down.
4 or 5.
Yes. 3 mechs of Phoenix Legion are very low. 1 goes down. It's still everybody's.
4 all.
Furia is legged. Kubert gets another team on Polycat. This is self-destructs. It's 3 on 3. Bushwalker is legged. Actually, since both Bushwalkers are legged, yes it is. They're trying to get these missiles. Self-destructs. Now that Article legs the Cheetah. So PHL has 3 mechs left, taking out the Article and only a Kubert on Assassin is alive. As you can see, one of his legs is very damaged, so he's going to try away and go for caps, but I don't think it's going to work.
Well, to be honest, their only alternative really, if he does go for a full-on cap strat, is to send one of their mechs after him, and I think they're all legged.
Yeah, they're all legged. So it will be still interesting to see where everybody of them goes. Let's do that. Yeah, they're not going after him, they just like still want Feta.
To be honest, I don't really need to go after him. They're up 552 to 460.
Yeah, I think they should win if the RTCD is going to reach like Gamma, but I think he won't even have time for that. Look at those percentages on Phoenix Legion, and let's check out the dolls on them. Bushwalker, almost dead, like completely dead. Another one, this should has some more percents, but I'm pretty sure he's also almost down. Yes, look at the backside damage on this one. And last one is Cheetah, he's also on 31%, but I'm pretty sure he has like lost one of his sectors. Yeah, just look at this paper, just like one touch from that assassin and he could die.
Here we go, Cubert's going back towards Veda.
Oh yeah. Just that Bushwalker. Now actually they have a chance to win if he actually flips this cup, but RTCD is already almost on Gamma. Just like a few more seconds and he's there, but PHL is going to be left only with one cup, but I guess if they flip 2 cups, they're still gonna win by. What an intense round.
That was really good placement by Phoenix Legion, forcing EON to go in. I thought the EON heavies took just that fraction too long to actually join the fight.
Yes, absolutely. If they pushed a little bit earlier, they could have been able to get this. Fortunately for EON, they have both of these cups almost at full cups, so Hubert, I think, is going to go for Sigma right now after this one, or he might go and try to kill. Yes, he is going for Gamma and try to kill that cheetah over there. But Cup is going to be flipped at this moment, I guess. So yeah, it seems like at the end of the day, PHL is going to take this one too. Yes, Gamma is flipped.
Yeah, they've got this.
So it's going to be 3 cups for PHL. Yeah, definitely win. He took machine gun arm straight away. Wasn't able to finish with second barrage. Oh, and he got stacked.
And he's like.
Yeah, that's a GG. Yeah.
Very well played by Phoenix Legion.
Yeah, very well played by both teams, to be honest. That was really intense.
And it just shows how the margins of error at this sort of level are so fine.
Indeed. Let's look at the damages. Yeah, of course, when both teams are almost killing each other out, of course, damages are going to be very high on both of them.
But yeah, I mean, pointing out Deruwind with 79 damage, dying fairly early.
500 on his assassin, and Lizzie was been able to deal almost 700 damage on the dragon despite being like pressured by all the brawl at the beginning. So really great job by both teams. Okay, so it was 7-7 in terms of kills and win by Phoenix Legion. So there we go, Phoenix Legion grabbing already 700 reputation and only 275 for EON. We're now moving to drop 3, which is going to be another very hot map. It's Caustic Valley Commander Assassination. So as I was saying earlier, it's really interesting that you're allowed only to use some of underperforming mechs in this game, because Atlas, Direwolf and King Crab of course are much worse than Medkit Mark IIs, a lot of other assaults, but in terms of weapon return, of course you want to take Codic or Annihilator as your command machine, but you can't do it right now. At first I really hated this decision by referees, but now I really like it because it allows you to play Atlas against EON and feel really good for that.
Well, I mean, one of the things was it was debated between refs pre-season as to what we should do with a commander mech, because we realistically, when we were deploying 85 tonners, only ever saw 2 mechs being used: the Battlemaster 1G, occasionally the 2C, but usually it was a Marauder 2C that was being used.
Like all the time, or like the one with ballistics, it also works.
So by selecting 100 tonners, we thought, well, we're not seeing a lot of use of 100 tonners ever since Engine Desync came into play along with Skill Tree, and realistically hit the nerf bat on a lot of mechs. The SRM spread also didn't help a lot of builds, so we figured it's something that, the commander mech can be a liability as much as a strength. Whereas in the 85 ton bracket, the commander mech was just as strong.
Let's discuss a bit on map strat this drop. So PHL, it's actually quite simple. So PHL just like grab 3 points and just set in the corners waiting for EON to push into them. So they had like Arctic Cheetah Mistlings over here and Assassin, and on this part of the map they had all of their other forces. So there was 2 ways EON could go. They could go from Gulf 8 or they could go through middle. They decided to go from both sides, sending their lighter assets over Golf 8, but I feel they engaged a little bit too early. They should have waited just like 5 seconds before those heavies and other two mediums would be able to get PHL into crossfire over here. Instead, they lost Huntsman, they lost one of Wolfhounds. Assassin and Mislings were able to disengage, but that was already almost 2 mechs down. Later on, the fight just happened on this area, and PHL were able to focus fire just like by a tiny fraction, a little bit better than EON, and that pretty much what decided their win.
I mean, it's a mark of how how frantic that fight was. I think you saw 2 overheats from EON,
Yes,
both of them being the dragons.
Yeah, both dragons killed themselves, and Funky Cat just went shut down on Bushwhacker, like in this spot in front of like the whole fire line of PHL. If he wasn't like, if he didn't have like both legs twisted in such a way that PHL couldn't be able to shoot into the second leg, he would die just instantly.
Do you want to just change the map onto the next drop, Caustic?
Just a second, let me switch from it. Wrong one. There we go. Okay, so as for Caustic Volley, of course, there is a lot of interesting possibilities because it's not the simplest map to play. If you take Brawl and just get up to the middle, enemies can take just like long range and just try to shoot you from different corners if they spread wide enough. But if you take long range, you just can get to the middle of this map usually. So you really have to decide on which maps you want to position and where, because there's usually like a huge opportunity to the team who is starting on the hillside, where you can just like get the high ground and just gains a decent part of map covered by your like UAC2 dragons and stuff like that. But again, you can just die from the middle push by like executed by the other team.
I mean, the other thing to note is on that Team 2 side, the distance to get to Kappa means that you're pulled so much further away from the fight than a mech going for Sigma, who can literally make a run straight there and then straight down and have lines onto Fader straight away almost.
Both drop, like both there are like 2 cap points that are really far away from engagement. So your fast mech, which is going to be like Article or Assassin because there is no lights on this drop, you're going to pull off this mech and go for that cap for quite a long time. And it can like turn the tides if the fight kicks off. So again, as I said, I was really looking for this match because I know that EON should be stronger, but as we can see, PHL putting up a very decent fight against them.
Well, and showing the benefit of the practice they've no doubt put into bed those new recruits in from Atari Scorpions.
Yes.
I'm going to switch the map strat onto Caustic.
It's already. So let me do some betting here. So EON most likely will bring Dragon, King Crab, probably Warhammer. It's for their heavies. Not sure about the third one. It could be something like Summoner. And as for PHL, I really don't know because they can easily even go with Atlas and just try to surprise EON with just like straight up push through the middle into them.
Well, I think the other thing is that it's dropped 3. They haven't dropped around yet. They will be confident. Will that confidence lead to them playing a more aggressive style than before, where they were slightly tentative to start with and then committed? Or will they go, well, let's check it, this is a team that can easily come back against us.
Yep,
we need to just still be on our guard.
Because as tonnage continues, it's harder to pull off some cheeky strats against EON, they're getting stronger and stronger because they have some guys that can they have like few of the best like shooters in this game, like Lizzie, Colonial, O'Neill, Seiko.
But you only have to look at how much damage Lizzie output
at
the Worlds to know that the guy is a freak.
Okay, so we're waiting a little bit on teams to prepare for this drop. So as we can see, PHL is 520 tons, so they most likely bringing again. This time they might bring 2 Nigers. I won't be surprised at all, because think about the thing. I really don't like playing against PHL because they can easily pull off some sort of fast rush strat, or they can just go for some sort of trading, or they can go for cut, so you never know what they're going to be playing. As for EON, it's just usually mid or long range, just like deck. They will never go for some sort of cap strat against you. They will just try to kill all your mechs and be done with it.
Also, 130 viewers right now.
Yeah, thanks everybody for.
And EON have bought in Darred.
Oh yeah, it's they swapped one of their players. Probably is going to be Buria. Also, I have to remind that Darred was their captain during the World Championships, so they might be struggling against him because he weren't being able to show up to the start of the game, or they just wanted to try to deal without him and it wasn't working out. I don't really know, but that might be the case.
Well, I mean, we've seen during the MWA 1v1 matches that Darred is one of the best light mech pilots in the game. The matches between him and Kriven were really, really good to watch.
Yeah, it is funny because there is no lights in this drop.
You think it may be Ice Ferret?
No, Assassin or Article. I bet he will be on Article. He really likes it. That's actually always what he was winning in the 1v1 championship. And speaking of Arctic Wolf, I was thinking that it's just like some sort of downgrade to Assassin, but when you just shovel in 4 Stram 4s and 5 Stram 2s into it, it just can sunblast people like crazy for its tonnage. Oh no, Buri is here, so I think they're swapping hardware then. It's their second light palette.
So just a reminder for everyone, for this drop there is a 100 tonner that each team has to use as their commander mech. The bonus condition for reputation is that you need to keep your commander mech alive for the entire drop. If it dies right at the end because of an overheat, too bad, you lose a point, the bonus points. Other than that, you have 3 mediums and 4 heavies.
But to get bonus, you have to both preserve your command mech and to kill enemy. So it's one of the hardest drop to get this command. There's bonus points out because I mean it's like a 100 tonner in a heavy and mediums drop, so it can put out a lot of damage, but at the same point you don't want him to get too exposed to enemies so it don't die too fast if you want to get these bonus points. Okay, so PHL is locked, we're waiting on EON right now.
Okay, EON are up to 8 pilots.
So yeah, probably Harder can be experiencing some sort of technical issues, so yeah, they had problems with TeamSpeak too.
Yeah, TeamSpeak, so same problem we had.
I'm not even gonna comment on this. Okay, should be
so guys, well, just while the teams are looking to looking towards the upcoming matches for next week. Right now we have First Jaguar Guards versus White Death Mercenary Company being recorded, so we will have that available for the next time we stream. In addition to that, EU Division C, Band of a Hawk versus 12DG Thunderstrike is happening right now as well, along with Clan Widowmaker Epsilon Galaxy versus Snow Leopard Company. For next week, we've got a couple of doozies in EU. Sentinels versus 5th Falcon Dragoons, White Death Mercenary Company versus Black Spikes Team 1. And we've got Russian Jade Falcon, your team, Dan, versus EON Synergy.
Yeah, so
Along with 1st Jaguar Guards versus Phoenix Legion on the 20th.
So, as for like our general plan, we usually want to record like 3 or 4 matches, or if we're able to, 3 should be our usual count. And we want to live stream 1 game per week, so we're just like taking some sort of most interesting Alpha Division match, recording like 3 or 4 matches from Division R or Division B, and then we just like showing out the compilations.
EON Unlocked.
And EON Unlocked, yeah, we should be starting any moment from now. And we're starting. So yeah, as one guy pointed right now in chat, MRPC is way more interesting due to its limitations than World Championships for me too, because you can just like bring two ballistic medcats, 2 ballistic dragons, like 2 assassins and 2 mistlings onto this one, like you can do on VC. So it's
I think the other thing that makes MRPC more interesting than Worlds was the fact that you're not seeing exactly the same maps every single time.
But as you know, PGI is dealing with it by not allowing to play on the already played maps during the in the competitive mode. So I'm going after EON this time. So as we can see, like 2 dragons. Actually, Shadowhawk, I'm pretty sure it's the ballistic one.
Yeah, 2H is the ballistic one.
3 AC2s. We see Lysion Daryl. He's on standard DACA build, 2 10s and 5. Fun.
For Phoenix Legion's part, they've got a King Crab, twin linebackers, an assassin, a Ryan 2C, Bushwhacker, and a Warhammer.
So as I said, they're going for a brawl through the caldera. Interesting Ebon Jaguar from Sika. He has 2 Act-10s and 5 AR smalls. Laser Vomit Hunchback. So mostly usual stuff aside from that Ebon Jaguar. And they're already getting shots on the other side of the map. They can see PHL moving up caldera. And I want to point out that Buir's position, he can pretty much see that side. Of course, heat vision is on, so he can see everybody who is walking on that side. So it's a very strong position, which he's right now.
Wooz jumps up, tries to get a peek, and pays for it by losing 6% health.
Yes, it's a big damage. But as we can see, 2 for 2 ground caps. Nobody has advantage over that. But as I said, PHL right now are too clustered up, and EON will be able to just like spread out a little bit. They should already try. Yeah, as we can see, the red goes for cap on Epsilon and goes for that very wide flank on PHL. So we have like 2 dragons situated on different sides of this caldera, covering a lot of corners. Do we have Article? Yes. No, it's Igor on Article, actually, not the red, as I was saying. But
and look, that's one of the weaknesses. We're playing a brawl strat on this map. If the other team commits to fighting around the caldera, then you can really put some hurt on. But if the other team's actually spread out, you can really get cut to pieces on the approach.
Oh, King Crab is also brawl. Oh my god, that was so wrong. So as we can see, PHL starting to move up. They can just sit at the back right now because EON is suddenly going to get Epsilon and going to have cap advantage. So they're just pulling it. Oh,
Scarf being focused down hard.
And they're focusing King Crab, and that Bushwhacker is going to be so painful to approach into EON. So as I was saying, you can just bring Gola and think that you can just run straight into EON and higher divisions. As we can see, Article moving up from behind. Bure is going to help their team. King King Crab gets down, but other mechs are getting in brawl range into EON, but they lost already a lot of armies. Cup gets wrecked. Couple of mechs running into the red and colonial on this side, but they couldn't focus on the
I mean, you look at the fact that Cuba just calmly retreated back while Eagle got smack shots in.
It's not laser vomit, it's medium pulse laser hatchback. Oh, he got spammer, so he will be out of the battle pretty much for the whole time. Get some back shots. Turn around, but another mech goes down for PHL. They got to kill themselves. Suko is also lit, kind of damaged. But
that strike on Xkiko.
And Colonial Neon, his Shadow Cloak was able to get away while the red was taking all the damage, and now they have Lake Linebacker, the assassin blew up from the far side, and they have only like one. That Warhammer is most likely stripped, yes he is. So PHL has just like one mech functioning right now. Actually two, yes, there's one mech with assassin. He got that.
Yeah, this is well played to EON.
An easy hold for EON. The problem on this map was that PHL didn't grab the Epsilon. If they had 3 caps, they may just sit there and wait for him to come up, but not the case this time.
Well, as it was, they sat stationary on the Caldera for too long and just allowed EON to get sightlines on them. Looking at that approach, Darred managed to get shots on, O'Neill managed to get shots on, Lizzie was getting shots on as well, and they were just being pounded by 3 people from 3 different angles. You just can't twist out. You twist one way, you just get pounded in the same spot by the other person.
And they were running into crossfire from like this side and from that hill over here. And it was like only Dragon and Arctic Wolf not shooting them, which were coming to help their team. So yeah, it's just a solid hold by EON Synergy. That's what they're like really great in.
I mean, we saw that at the Worlds when they lost their first set of drops against EMP.
Because I forgot to switch into the game mode. I had like overlay the whole time.
Radiocast!
Yes. So we're going to explain your map. Lizzie, 824 damage on the wolf, just like crazy. And the only mech who was able to break 300 damage on PHL was the Warhammer. Oh, really sorry guys, very big mistake from me. So we're just going to switch to Mapstrad and tell you what we've seen, I guess. So what happened here was pretty much that the whole PHL team, they capped Gamma, they capped Theta, and they were sitting on this position for like 2 or 3 minutes. Meanwhile, EON Synergy was able to put one dragon over here. They got Article to get Kappa. They had almost whole their team sitting on this position, and they had Dragon and Shadowhawk on 3 AC2s moving around this area. After that, PHL decided to go for a heavy brawl into this direction. Like the whole team, the whole 8 mechs moved like this direction. Some of their fastest mechs, like Assassin and 2 linebackers, split up to get these 2 mechs. But by the time this group gets to EON, they were already down King Crab. One of their bushwalkers got legged, and later on they just like turned them down, just like with 2 or 3 mechs advantage.
The thing was, if you look at the, which people out there can't, unfortunately, yes. But the movement of EON was that pressure got applied initially by Phoenix Legion when they finally moved, and EON just rotated and kept the sidelines going.
So yeah, just like Arctic Wolf came from behind on this position, Dragon came from this side, they were just like, they just pushed a little bit over here and just like were constantly shooting on the PHL while they were closing up. And I was really surprised that Colonel O'Neill was able to make his all the way over here, and while the Dread was tanking on a Dragon like 2 linebackers and Assassin. Okay, again, sorry for that, guys. I guess to make you feel better, we're gonna do a giveaway of 1 day premium time. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Okay, it was 8-2 as far as I remember, yes. In terms of kills. And bonus goes for EON for preserving the commander max. So I'm going to quickly show. And we're going into drop 4. So due to the bonus points, EON Synergy were able to catch up with PHL in terms of reputations. They're only down 125 points right now. So it was a really great drop by EON. And just a second, I need to fix this one. There we go. So next drop is going to be Tourmaline Desert Conquest. Let me swap that again, and we're going to go and make another giveaway. This time we're giving away 1 day of premium time.
Well, that's okay. I will remind Dan at the end of this to make sure he switches to browser source.
Okay, turning down the voice again.
It's alright, I'm just giving you a hassle. Slate VX, 1 day of premium time. So X, make sure you send me a PM in either Discord or in TeamSpeak, and I will send you your code.
Yeah, and chat is of course right now going full memes on that.
It's alright, we're gonna have to work hard to live this down.
But as I said, at least we have excuse that that's our first stream. And believe me, it's like shitload of things you have to set up before this one. Like this whole overlays, like map strat things, video replays. It's like every single thing you see which is different is just like a different tab you have to press. And I have like 7 or 8 applications running right now on my PC that I have to switch between in order to get everything working. So PHL locked again. Waiting on EON.
Kalido, well, this changed my mind.
That's like a next level of casting. Yes, in Soviet Russia. You don't cast Ebola. So my bet is that EON is really strong on this map because it allows you to have like a lot of different angles. It allows you to cover like a lot of map with your weapons, and it's really easy to make this work. And after the strikes got nerfed, it will be much harder to get that supernova, which will undoubtedly be sitting on the top of the mountain.
Let's look at it this way as well. It's also a map that teams have had constant practice on, not just in MRPC, but also in 2016 and 2017 Worlds.
Look at that 40-ton difference. My bet that PHL is going to try to go for caps on this one. Like, I'm not sure about like gargoyles, but like linebackers, Article, Assassin, 2 lights. Definitely. Almost like 100% sure that this will happen. And we're starting. Okay, remember to switch to the game overlay.
Yes, so we do have a game client as what we're seeing right now, yeah?
Yes, fine. Just a second, I have to press something. Yeah, just kidding.
Alright, so
Okay.
do you want me to go into EON this time?
Yeah, sure. I'll just take a look at the PHL. Takes quite time for some of the members to load, it seems. Yeah, Tmubot is just a freaking troll with this message about this some good action. But at least everybody's having fun of it. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay, so nobody drops closer to Theta from PHL.
Funky Cat in a Supernova, and Lizzie in a Dragon.
Okay, so like Arctic Cheetah, Wolfhound, Arctic Wolf Assassin, and yes, it's Marauder to Seek Gargoyle and 2 linebackers coming out from PHL. They're going full cap.
Straight away we've got PPC shots happening from EON.
And we can see EON setting up like a very wide fire line over Theta. I really wonder how they're going to strike up. Actually, look at that positioning from the red. He knows that PHL might go full into Kappa, so he's just like overwatching this position right now. And it seems, yeah, he should have seen like linebackers and cargo over there. So he's just backing off, giving information to his team. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to be grabbing Theta and Epsilon right now and trying to hold their corners. And PHL moving with their whole, like, they have everybody but lights over here right now. So they...
I actually think that murder ball tactic is, you know, a bit weak on this map because you run so much risk of getting stuck in one of the valleys.
But as I said, PHL can't just try to... And as you can see, Supernova is already moving from that position. Just like running the hell out of here. I'm not sitting waiting for me to get pushed right now. And while PHL don't have lights right over here, they can just go fast to Sigma. And there is still Epsilon capped. I'm pretty sure EON should send Hardock right now into it.
Yeah, they've got Hardock on the way there.
He should be capping it right now. Actually, look at where Qbert is positioned. So EON just like running away, setting up for positions to receive some push, but PHL just like extending all over this side of the map right now. They're gonna get Sigma, they're gonna get Kappa, they have, I think, Wolfhound overwatching the possible rotations towards Sigma. And at some point, EON will definitely have to send light towards Gamma right now. And we can see the Reds already on position to go for Gamma, right? So PHL just grabbing all these top positions over here. Yeah, they have actually 3 mechs on these rocks on this side of the map, which is a really great position to try to hold off. And Tiki can see lights on on this point, and he is able to distract them a little bit with strike. So really great angle to prevent this cap.
Have you noticed where Hardock's moving? Like right around the back to link up with Darred?
Yes, and we can see where linebackers and Wolfhound are moving towards Gamma, but they got spotted. EON now knows that they have two linebackers moving towards Gamma and gives that information to Lights. We can see some strikes on these positions, but it seems nobody getting hit by them. But we can see that Phoenix Legion maintain this cap advantage over Sigma, Kappa and Gamma because EON just like allowed PHL to get Sigma very easily.
I mean, I think the weakness with this Gargoyle is that mech in particular is going to be very easy to isolate from the rest of the team.
I think that should be Murder. I mean, it's a little bit slower and a little bit easier to isolate than Gargoyle. So yeah, we can see barely any trades coming from any of the teams. Like only one mech is at 90%. Everybody's. Oh no, we actually have Assassin at 80% right now. Yeah, don't worry, talking about that. So if EON doesn't do anything, they're just going to be outcapped on this one. And that seems to be working for now for PHL quite well. Okay. Rested sleepers in chat. And as you might notice, they have like only more order overwatching Sigma in case they have some maximum here. And Darred going for Sigma as well as Lizzie on Dragon. I very doubt that they'll be able to cap this one very fast and kill that Marauder, so I'm pretty sure that it will be a hard way for EON to pull a win from this one. And as I was saying, if something doesn't go according to EON's plan, they can start panicking and not making moves they need to do to win. Like here, they I really think they should have been a little bit more aggressive than they are right now.
Yeah, like you look at Torn and that Marauder 2C, he knows he's going to go down at some stage, but he's just trying to put as much damage as he can out to interrupt the cap, and that's it.
Just look at how spread PHL right now. EON just like could leave one or two mechs behind and push any direction they wanted to push and still get a win in fight. But Sigma is still uncapped and they have two mediums rotated in this position to prevent this cap. And on the far side we can see Hardock getting caught out by this wolf-hunted artist if they will be able to see him. Nevertheless, they have like two linebackers, yes, waiting for him, so Hardock is pretty much dead as soon as he gets spotted. And now you can see EON rotating towards Sigma, but it's already too late. I'm pretty sure they lost backups.
Yeah, at 5:20, with every mech still alive, they've won this.
Where PHL Lights are moving. They know that the EON is moving towards Sigma, so they're just gonna go and grab Epsilon and probably Theta. There is no way. And I have even one mech over here, which is Gargoyle, preventing EON from capping the Kappa. So I'm just going to switch to the place where the fight is going to kick off a little bit. As you can see, that Marvel is very damaged. But they're still preventing Sigma from getting up by EON.
Well, we got Hubert and O'Neill fighting against Zinjo and the Gargoyle.
Finally, they goes down after 7 minutes, obviously. And Assassin.
Zinjo finally goes down.
And Zinjo finally goes down. Where he was? I didn't even notice. Now, on this set.
He was right over Kappa.
So they lost just 2 assaults. But as far as I remember, to get bonus on this one, you have to kill heavies and assaults.
Correct.
So yeah, they just like capping Theta, capping Epsilon after EON completely abandoned these points. They're just like getting all the more control. it's just surprising. They was played so hard against such a competitive team, and they still were able to pull this off. And on the far side, we can see linebacker fighting against Wolfhound. But of course, Hardog won't be able to pull things off. And it seems like another mech of EON of PHL is going to be cut out with this assassin, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to be some points to EON's secret, but the win is all PHL.
Yeah.
Just need to remember the final count in terms of mechs. And there we go, PHL takes it. 3-1 for them right now.
3-0. Eon had lost no mechs.
I was meaning count in terms of won games, not in terms of mechs. So very impressive damage numbers coming from Laser and Cubert in this game. Like, I mean, look at the Wolfhound and Arctic Cheetah of PHL have 0 damage. Arctic Wolf has 7 damage. Linebacker has 3 damage, but they won.
3 damage, that's like a quarter of a panic.
Yeah, haha. Oh, there you go. If you take fast brawl, you don't have to brawl with it in order to win. You can just go and cap. Okay, I don't even think we need to go for the map strat because we were explaining pretty much everything during the build.
Yeah.
So it was so slow.
Well, for any Australians out there, it's pretty much like watching cricket.
Yeah.
And there's seagulls on the pitch.
I don't know anything about cricket, so
You are not missing anything at all.
I'm glad. Okay, so here are updated stats. And we're going into drop number 5, River City. 4 assaults, 2 heavies, 2 lights. Okay, at this point I'm fairly sure that PHL won't be able to bring too much fast assaults and cap out EON, but we'll see if I'm wrong.
I never know, they might be bringing a whole host of Victors with max engines.
Oh yeah, that could... I don't think it's going to be a great idea to bring Victors against. Actually, wait, if you don't put any weapons on them and just go for full like LV 400, this might work. I guess, possibly. So, yeah, that was quite an unique match we witnessed right now, to be honest.
That was not what I was expecting, to be honest. When you said camp strat, I was expecting a bit of that, but I was thinking that EON would play a bit more aggressive and whittle them down a bit more.
Well, yeah, as I said about EON, if you break their plans, they can just sometimes get a little bit confused on what they have to do in order to counter it. And PHL is quite known for strats like that, especially on Thermal and Desert. And still, they were able to pull this off, so really great job by them. So, trying to not fight EON in order to win them is a viable strategy, I guess. If you can't win them in brawl.
Well, I mean, the other point to that is, if you know that the enemy team is going to set up a range, and they are range specialists, and that you are not a team that can out-trade them, as we saw in Drop 3, then it makes sense to go, well, what strategy plays to our strengths? You know, how can we make that ours and take away from their strength?
Full map control, we know that they can be sitting like a little bit too passive, and we can punish them for that, and that's what really happened.
Well, that's what comes back to what we were talking about when we were watching those reviews about, it's best to actually go and think about what your team's strength is and tailor your strategy to that, and you make choices to that strategy. Don't bring a brawling team that's slow moving and will struggle to get into a fight if that's what your strategy is. You build a fast moving deck that can actually establish that control, and even if you lose one mech, the rest of the team can still keep going.
And yes, I told you this game is going to be more interesting than JGX versus BDMC, but of course we'll be taking a look on it later on when we'll get our hands onto recordings. Okay, so I have a...
And I can tell you that our recordings from WDMC versus JGX will not be radiocasts.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my god, it's going to be a meme, for sure. Like, almost 100% sure that people will be memeing on it for quite a while after this one.
So yeah, Drop 5, Conquest game mode, River City is the map, 2 lights, 2 heavies, 4 assaults.
Okay, do you want to place a bet on how many annihilators we're going to see on this drop?
I'm going to go with 4.
I'm gonna go 3. I'm pretty sure EON will bring only 1 on this one.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense with how mobile they typically like to be for positioning.
So from all the trainings we had, we found out that it's not usually a good idea to go for 2 annihilators because they're very slow, they're very immobile, and if enemy will...
They're practically turrets.
Yeah, and if enemy will be able to find some sort of good angles of them, they just like melt like chocolates, despite having all the freaking armor perks they have in their position. Okay, so while teams are setting up, did the guy who was on previous giveaway contact you or not yet?
I would suggest we do final giveaway now because we're waiting on teams to bring people in.
Okay, so we're giving away 100 MC?
1000 MC.
Yeah, 1000 MC, sorry. Okay, I'm going to load the names. Switch to this awesome giveaway tool.
144 viewers.
Yeah, thanks a lot guys for tuning up, sitting on stream. Okay, so we're ready. Turning down the volume again. We'll need to find out how to do it in the next time. And starting up. White O Fox won 1000 MCs.
So, White Fox, please make sure you PM Didachi and I will send you the code.
I don't know what's wrong. I again can't find him in, like, by tapping into the chat. What if he doesn't show up? We're just going to roll for another one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll roll again at the end if we
Yeah.
need to. So Solitude just pointed out in chat that Phoenix Legion played pretty well versus Imperial on HPG and World Champs, and I remember that match.
Yes.
Which was notable for them bringing ATMs.
So yeah, as I said, PHL are kind of some sort of dark horse which can do really well against even way higher skilled teams due to how they play. I mean, you don't have to go far away. That 2 Nigers and World Championship on ATMs were just like as I was saying, you never know what these guys are going to bring against you, and that's why it's really pain in the ass to play against them sometimes.
Let's think, if you can actually be truly unpredictable, that is a huge boon.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage.
Most teams you play against, you know whether they prefer to play ranged or whether they prefer to play brawl, and you can plan accordingly because half of your strats are working out, well, what's my counter to my opponent's plan? But if you don't know what they're going to do, you have to basically build like 4 or 5 contingencies.
Yeah, and you just can't have a counter strike to everything they can pull off against you. Okay, so we're waiting a little bit for teams to swap up their mechs. set up, to prepare strategies they want to execute. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be from EON Synergy, so they're like on the left side of the map, as far as I remember. So they pretty certainly going to be sitting around Upper City, at least at the beginning. And for PHL, I don't know, they really can just also try to set up, but my bet they're going to go around Citadel, try to get all the caps near the water, try to get that. So I won't be surprised if we're going to see 4 caps from PHL at the start of this round, and see how EON will be able to deal with that. Okay, so that guy didn't seem to show up yet. Let's wait for giveaway to go if he doesn't pin you, and if Steam still don't ready, we're just going to roll it again.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Also, temporary access tells me I should learn to sleep. No, because I work night shift.
There you go.
So 7 AM is my sleep time.
I mean, you probably won't be signing up for EU casts if you weren't been able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And we've just been told that JGX just beat White Death Mercenary Company 5-1.
Oh, yeah, as I said, that this set of matches is going to be way more interesting. So, I will do it.
Both teams have 8 pilots in, so let's see when people...
And they're both 575 tons. So, no cheese from PHL this time, because it's not such a big map. You have 4 assaults, so it's way more slower. You can bring like LFU 400 victors, stuff like that. Okay, so PHL unlocked, waiting on EON. Okay, so I'd bet on EON on this one, but if PHL will be able to grab another victory, I will be very surprised on this one.
Okay, so PHL unlocked.
And yeah, let's see how many annihilators there will be in this drop. So
guys, just while we're waiting for all teams, I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. 142 right now is great numbers for this time of morning or this time of night. Both teams are now locked.
yeah, and we're good to go then. Launching.
And we're really sorry for Radio Cast and Drop 3.
Yeah.
Really sorry.
You can meme on me as much as you want, guys. So I will always remember the shame I put on myself. Haha.
Alright, so I'll look at Phoenix Legion for this last drop.
Okay, and I'm looking at it. So, and I guess we'll have to reroll 100 here. If the White Hole Fox doesn't ping me right now. At least in this drop we will have all the time in the world to see what loadouts these guys have.
Well, it's not like drop 1 where you're sitting there going, oh god, please guys, give us at least a second
to click it, yeah.
before you start fighting.
Okay, so Phoenix Legion bringing 2 annihilators and only 1 for EON Synergy, so I won.
So you were right, free and settle. 1x, that'll be
seems so. So Daka Niger, pretty sure triple evac to Dragon. As for Assault Lens, we have Laser Woman Supernova, Daka Medcat, another Daka Medcat, 5 Ultra 5s, Annihilator, and Lights we have Wolfhound and Arctic Wolf.
And I'm just going to ask again for posterity, we are on the match screen, right?
Yes. No, thanks for reminding. Big thanks. Yes. It's getting a little bit late for me too, and I was busy all day setting up this stuff, so sorry again. Okay, so as for PHL, they're setting up in the upper city. We can see Dragon, Mistlings, Daka Kodiak, Heavy Gauss, ER Mediums, Annihilator, Daka Medcat. And for the second light, we gonna have an Arctic Cheetah. And apparently we have a Warhammer with dual LB 20s on this one. So we can see trading in the upper city, and EON sitting really far away to just see if PHL is going to bring some sort of brawl this time, but they're not, so...
EON crossing to try and get something right.
Yes, it's Phoenix crossing actually.
So you're right.
Well, of course they have like Brawling, Warhammer, they have Heavy Gas on Annihilator, they want to get closer to him, and Qbert already down to 77%.
77.
He got a couple of strikes there, and of course got some Daka damage from enemy mechs. Deathstrike almost got Polycat on these things, but missed just a little bit. As we can see, none of teams going for Theta, and EON Lights moving from the Citadel into PHL positions. Wait a second. That was Daka Nature. So, yes. But overall, PHL were able to close up on EON positions quite easily, without taking a lot of damage aside from Scav, which is probably going to just get killed by Dart in the back. Now he got protected a little bit by Dragon from the far side of the bridge. So we can see PHL just rolling into EON mines, and EON again trying to just run a little bit away from there and get some range. And it seems that PHL don't want to go into this opening to EON, so they're just going to get some damage into them for free almost. Funky Cat on that Supernova is very out of position, he's going to get killed by Lights most likely. But at the same time, EON Lights rushing onto the right flank of PHL and starting to work on him. Yeah, it's a Kodiak. And that Annihilator just gets teared apart by all the focus fire. He doesn't have any weapons left. Kodiak loses his Citers. Yes, but he's very far away. Colonial Annual is still almost 100 HP on the Duck Annihilator. And Lights still haven't done on Funky Cat. He goes down only now. Also, Eon lost Darret. So, in terms of percent, both teams still can win. Lights are still working here on Lizzie and Dragon. Lizzie goes shut down. He lost one of his arms. Colonial will finish off Scav finally. Madcat lost his another arm. And we have just Heavy Gas Annihilator. Almost killed Madcat. Down goes the light. We have like only Arctic Cheetah and Annihilator with Heavy Gas left for PHL. I'm pretty sure Ian should win this one.
I think if PHL had managed to actually grab Epsilon as a cap point, they could have actually stretched us out.
Yes, and Colonial O'Neill has only one WK5 intact. But down goes the Heavy Gas Annihilator, and they have like only Arctic Cheetah and Strip Method. Yes. And Lizzie tanking like a champ right there. 21%. Yeah, Arctic Cheetah lost his arms, it seems, yes, so he wasn't able to finish him off. So, yep, as I said, more or less decent hold by EON again. So yes, as I said, you don't have to bring 2 annihilators every time to be good at this one, because they're very slow, and if enemy has more mobile loadout, you can struggle from it very hard.
I definitely think the key point there was the fact that EON didn't panic when Phoenix Legion crossed. I mean, instead just faded back and just kept putting down fire.
Yeah, that's all you have to do when you get pushed. I mean, like Phoenix Legion had some roll mechs instead of like another DACA on Annihilator, or like on Warhammer there's another one good build, like 2 UAC 10s and like 4 medium lasers or 4 ER smalls. But as you can see that,
Look at Ex-Gecko, 934.
yeah, DACA Madcat that was able to get some angles on those Annihilators and Kodiaks. Of course, if you been able to put out your damage unpunishable, then you can deal a lot. And Niger pulling off 750 damage on this round. Like, Niger really shines against very heavy, very unmobile targets like assaults. And as you can see, Scaff only with 91 damage on this dual LB20 Warhammer. He wasn't able to get to enemies fast enough in order to put out his damage.
Yeah, I think that LB12, I think that Lima was very much a mistaken deck choice. Something that
Yeah, a little mistake. Summoner to force EON out of positions or show them that you have some sort of trading. So let me just set everything up. What count was it? As far as I remember, 5-8.
It was, yes.
And bonus goes to EON for killing all assaults. And they had like, yeah, Lizzie at least wasn't able, so bonus goes to EON. And the final score should be this one. So PHL winning by 125 reputation points and by 1 win point over EON Synergy.
There we go, so EON only lost 2 mechs.
Oh. In which drop?
On drop 5, they lost Darred in the...
Yeah, so let me re-update this one. So actually, PHL winning only by 50 reputation points over EON Synergy, so it was a very close game from both teams.
And that's the thing, it shows just how important getting those bonus reputation conditions is.
Yes, because they killed that VIP in 3rd drop, they get bonus point for winning this drop because they killed all assaults. So if you're not sure that you're going to win, try at least to go for those bonuses, and you can turn the tides in terms of points later on.
And the other thing is, because you're going to play most teams twice over the course of a season, you have the chance that, you know, even if you minimise your losses, as long as you can maximise your wins in other games, still claw ahead of teams that you lose to.
Yeah.
Like, reputation is the final measure of, you know, which team wins a division, not pure wins.
Oh, and I had you very low again, sorry. Yeah, definitely will have to point some more attention to things I'm clicking right now. Anyway, let's do 1000 giveaway reroll once again.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything from White Fox.
Okay, so I'm setting up the tool. Nicknames are loaded, and I'm starting it off. TKO spec 5 once 1000 MC.
Give me a PM on Twitch user, and I will send you the code.
Yeah, he's in the chat luckily this time.
Beautiful. Alright, should we call it at that point?
Just a second, let's give away this 100 MC. I'm just going to say that in chat and see if he's there. Let's move to Mapstrat and discuss this drop a little bit, I guess, while we're waiting.
Yep, okay. So, as you said, PHL really set themselves up initially strongly in the upper city, with their light going off to grab Kappa and then moving around.
So actually, I was kind of surprised. So they pretty much gathered up over here and moved everybody from this side. I feel what they could do a little bit better. They whole team climbed over here. The two things they could do better, in my opinion, is just to help that Warhammer with their lights, for them not to be able to put damage on him at all. And instead of hanging out in this position, which they were struggling for like 1 or 2 minutes, they had like close range. They know they have heavy Gauss on the later, and that EON probably don't have it. So I feel they should have just like crossed through like here, or if they weren't confident, they could just like still do this from this position, but they didn't do it eventually. Okay, so I don't see the TKO response in chat yet, so I guess we roll again. Okay, loading up names. No, actually, let's go and finally get a giveaway to somebody, because it's 1000 MC, it's really big. And Wingbreaker wins 1000 MC. I'm pretty sure he should be around.
I'm pretty sure Windbreaker is around.
Cool. Okay, so let's wait for somebody to respond finally. So overall, I feel this. Yes, give points. So yeah, as I said to you, I was really hoping that these matches will be entertaining and they were very interesting to watch, to cast. Sorry again for that radio cast, guys. We'll try to press my buttons better next time. And yes, I guess that's pretty much all for today. For next week, we'll decide on what we're going to cast and put up like on Reddit, on MRBC Discord, information on what we're going to record, when we're going to cast and stuff like that. So.
And I believe our next cast we're going to be seeing is Meg Verdane casting Sig versus Goon.
When this match is going to be, you know?
Just having a look through. That will be on the 15th US at 2100 EDT.
Okay, there you go, guys. Stay up a little bit more and you'll see another game.
After that, on the 17th, we will have 228 Blackwatch versus 42 Smoke Jays.
Yeah, all the upcoming casts available on MRBC website somewhere. You probably can find it really easily.
Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and stay tuned for the next
I guess that's all for now. Thanks everybody, thanks teams for playing, thanks everybody 156 viewers at the end of the stream for coming up, for watching us failing a couple of times, having memes from it, and tune up and the next week for EU MRBC Season 10 cast. See you later, guys.